Extreme Dangerous Transport Skill Operations Oversize Truck. Biggest heavy equipment fails. Hello adrenaline junkies, welcome to Beyond the Blade. Today we're diving into the world of extreme heavy haulage, insane machine moves, and jaw-dropping engineering. From mega cranes to monster trucks, get ready because what you're about to see is pure power in motion. Momoa is known for moving giants, but hauling two massive CO2 gas tanks from Hausaloon to Dorfen wasn't smooth sailing. Controlling this kind of monster will put your skills to the test. After a vessel wrecked the Kuchenmüller Bridge, the Hebo Lift 5 crane stepped in to save the day. Crews had to reposition two 80-ton bridge sections before the 160-ton crane could lift them. A serious test of skill and precision. Moving a luxury yacht across land isn't just about muscle, it's a balancing act of power, patience, and perfect coordination. With heavy haulage trucks doing the heavy lifting, even the smallest slip could turn into a major disaster. When a massive yacht needed to hit the road, Max Skoll's heavy transport team answered the call. Using specialized haulage trucks and expert coordination, they carefully navigated tight spaces and tricky routes to deliver this floating giant safely to its destination. When it comes to mining on a massive scale, machines like this are built to dominate. With unstoppable power and giant capacity, these beasts move earth and rock like it's nothing, keeping the mining world running full throttle. Moving a 50-meter steel giant isn't your everyday job. A MAN TGX 41.680 8x6 and a 30-axle platform trailer teamed up to haul the 500-ton load, including the retired U-17 submarine, heading for its new home in the Sinsheim Museum of Technology. Triton Transport moves the world's biggest wheel loader, the Letornu L2350. With a 40.5 meter cubed bucket and a 72-ton lift capacity, this beast can fill a Terex MT6300 in just 5 minutes. It's the only loader on Earth built for trucks that big. A final haul in a series of 480-ton superloads, delivering parts for a giant auto press at Martin Ray's Hopkinsville plant. Each trip pushed the limits, with loads reaching 960,000 pounds, nearly 12 times the usual road weight. The Cat 5130B is a powerhouse in bulk earthmoving, built to shift massive loads quickly and efficiently. Whether digging deep or loading trucks, this hydraulic excavator brings serious muscle to major mining and construction projects. When it comes to breaking down the toughest materials on Earth, nothing beats a rock crusher. These machines turn massive boulders into rubble with unstoppable force, powering everything from construction sites to mining operations. Moving a load this size isn't just about horsepower. Dozens of crew members, from drivers to escort teams to utility workers, all work together to make the journey possible. Momoit takes on another colossal task, hauling massive tower sections for Vestas wind turbines. Rolling through the streets of Tidaholm, these towering loads require precise driving skills and effective road management to keep everything on track. The crew in action, hauling a massive 160-ton Cat 994 wheel loader through Brisbane, covering around 15 kilometers. This move shows just how much muscle and coordination it takes to shift a true mining giant. With a 42-meter, 3-part boom, this 270-ton long-reach excavator handles massive jobs with ease. It shapes better slopes and places armor rock along reclamation and seawalls. A true specialist built for coastal giants. Koch Spezial Transport hauls massive cargo for Hugo Boss through the streets of Filderstadt. This powerful truck makes tight turns and navigates narrow streets with ease. A real showcase of strength and skill behind the scenes of the fashion world. Watch the Alelis in full force, hauling a massive load from Heysham all the way to Harker's substation in Carlisle. With every mile, these heavy haulers are tackling tight roads and tricky turns, keeping the operation smooth and unstoppable. Stretching 227 feet long, 18 feet wide, and 17 feet tall, this 532,000-pound monster isn't built for tight corners, but that's exactly the challenge. Every inch counts when moving a load this massive through narrow turns. It's not the longest road, but it's seriously tall and wide, with side gantries making the challenge even bigger. This crew delivers an impressive performance, tackling tight spaces and heavy weight with driving skills that definitely earn their pay.
Back bit, a little bit of tree pruning there. Beautiful. It's good for regeneration, I was told.
Yeah, the pruning.
It's coming out very nice.
It is. I reckon so, that's looking pretty good.
A 2006 Peterbilt teams up with a 12-axle Goldhofer hydraulic trailer and a 10-meter lowboy deck to move a 210-ton American crawler crane. With around 200,000 pounds of steel riding behind it, this haul is all about serious strength and steady handling. When massive machines hit the open road, it's a whole different kind of traffic. It really puts that heavy load signage into perspective, because these trucks aren't just carrying cargo, they're moving giants. Even the biggest trucks need backup sometimes. MacTran's heavy haulage tackles a steep hill with extra help, demonstrating that when it comes to oversized loads, teamwork and traction make all the difference.
Looks like it's going to work. All the trucks are going well. Everything's working. The steer tire's off the ground, but she's doing it. We're getting there fine. That's all we need to do. It's all like team effort. Yep, we're nearly to the top. We've got a beat. All good. The trucks are under their own power now. They're pulling without the IT and the radar. Everything looks good. Everything looks good all the way up the hill. Yep.
A heavy haul truck takes on a massive challenge, moving a 427,000-pound transformer out of the port of Tucson. With sheer power and careful handling, this oversized load is in motion to its next destination. At a local construction site, the mighty Cat D11R takes on solid rock with ease. Built for serious heavy-duty work, this bulldozer tears through tough ground like it's nothing, showing why it's a legend in the world of earthmoving. Michaelis Transport takes on another heavy haul, moving not one, but two massive Komatsu 930E dump trucks. Shifting giants like these demand serious muscle and pinpoint planning to keep everything rolling smoothly. Massive Caterpillar 777 mining truck gets a lift of its own. riding on an 11-axle lowboy trailer. Moving a machine built for the mines takes serious hauling power and a rig just as tough as the load it's carrying. When one heavy crane isn't enough, another steps in. A 250-ton mobile crane takes on the jaw-dropping task of hoisting a 160-ton crane onto an elevated viaduct, a high-risk lift that demands pure strength and flawless coordination. And if you're loving these extreme moves, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. There's a lot more action coming your way. Michaelis Transport hits the road with an extensive load, demanding careful handling and sharp coordination. Moving something this massive isn't just about power, it's about keeping everything steady from start to finish. A massive truck takes on the heavy-duty task of delivering a brand new transformer. With oversized power and a load built for giants, this delivery shows just how extreme heavy transport can get. Turner Transfer faces a serious test of skill, maneuvering a massive load through a tight 90-degree turn. With inches to spare and a lot of muscle behind the wheel, it's a move that demands total control from start to finish. Gigantic beams hit the road as specialized trucks take on the heavy haul. Stretching across multiple trailers, these loads demand expert driving, careful planning, and flawless coordination to reach their destination safely. Michaelis Transport undertakes the challenge of relocating a 200-ton reclaimer, a true heavyweight in the industrial world. Every mile demands power, precision, and serious expertise to keep this monster load under control. The V8 Max Superliner hits the road with a heavy load and that signature deep bark. It's pure music for trucking fans, a true powerhouse, showing why it's one of the best Superliners around. Moving a 450-ton transformer is no small task, but this crew makes it look effortless. Behind the smooth execution is an incredible amount of planning, expertise, and teamwork. With one truck pulling and two pushing, Barnhart Crane and Rigging takes on the heavy haul challenge. Moving massive loads like this demands serious teamwork, raw horsepower, and flawless coordination. When a train derailment demands serious muscle, two massive cranes team up for the recovery. Coordinated lifts like this require skill, timing, and raw lifting power to return heavy rail cars to the track safely. Each of these massive vehicles is hauling over 100 tons of gear for the Hitachi EX3600, a serious mining machine. With wide loads stretching across the road, this kind of haul is all about size, strength, and total control. The Hitachi EX8000 is one of the largest hydraulic excavators ever built. Designed for extreme mining operations, these beasts deliver unstoppable digging power, moving thousands of tons of earth with brutal efficiency. Not every lift ends in success. In this case, a crane attempts to hoist an excavator, but things take a turn for the worse. A sharp reminder that even with heavy lifting, one small mistake can lead to a major disaster. Bayal Brothers rolls out serious muscle with an 82-wheel tractor trailer built for extreme loads. When the cargo gets massive, it takes engineering like this to keep the wheels and the mission moving. A powerful man truck takes on the challenge of moving a massive yacht to its exhibition site. Navigating tight roads and heavy weight, this haul is all about steady control and serious hauling strength. Moving a 102-ton glacial erratic isn't your average lift. It takes massive cranes, expert rigging, and careful planning to relocate a piece of ancient history without a hitch. Mounted on a dual-lane steerable multi-axle trailer, this 220,000-pound rotor demands serious hauling power. Every mile is a careful dance between weight, balance, and precise steering to keep this giant load rolling safely. This haulage takes on a mining giant, transporting a 120-ton Komatsu 930E, built for extreme duty and sheer size. Getting a machine like this on the road is no small feat. It's heavy hauling at its finest. Hauling the rotor from Callaway Nuclear Plant, this massive 700,000-pound load rolled out with one truck pulling, one pushing, and 108 tires gripping the ground. A jaw-dropping display of engineering in motion. The Marion 8050S is a legendary dragline designed for the most demanding earth-moving tasks in mining and construction. With its massive boom and giant bucket, it moves mountains of material with every swing, showing off old-school engineering on a grand scale. Watching a bucket wheel excavator at work is like witnessing a giant machine come to life. With its massive rotating wheel and endless buckets, it carves through the earth at an incredible pace. Carrying nearly 2 million pounds, this transformer, headed to Monticello's new wind farm, is the largest load ever hauled on Utah highways. Pulled by one semi and pushed by 5 more, the massive rig dominates the entire width of a 2-lane road. Not every haul is just about size. Sometimes it's about the craftsmanship. This lineup of heavy equipment isn't just powerful, it's downright beautiful, built to turn heads and move mountains. It's not every day you see a crane lifting an excavator deep onto a ship's lower deck. Precision, power, and careful control all come together to pull off this tricky underground loading operation. And that's a wrap, adrenaline junkies. If you loved watching these insane heavy hauls and monster machines in action, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for even bigger moves only here on Beyond the Blade. See you on the next ride.